Chaz Smith, welcome back to the Grit, the Black Friday edition,
Is it Friday today or is it Saturday today?
Black Saturday edition.
Black Saturday. Black Mass. Do you like
Uh,
Black Mass?
was that the film?
Yeah.
I don't remember feeling very strongly about it.
Yeah, me too. It's a bummer, those ones.
Well, that was Whitey Bulger, right?
Yeah, Johnny Depp as Whitey Bulger.
Yeah, love the idea. The Whitey Bulger story is fascinating to me. I thought The Departed was one of the great films of the last 20 years. So maybe it just fell short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Well, do you got merch to hype? Considering
And
Black Friday sales, let's
do you
see it.
see my merch?
I see it.
Just dropped. I got one for you too, David Lee Scales. I will put it in the mail, but just dropped the Beachgrit times Critical Slide Society collab everyone's been waiting for. I hate surfing. We got tees, we got trunks, and we got hats with the I hate surfing logo emblazoned right on.
I love it. The gift that I think anybody could appreciate. It's also a hot commodity, right? You guys aren't going to print an unlimited number of these. These are going to go quick.
No, this is not like the future. Derek and I do not live in the future where you print up a t-shirt and sell that t-shirt one at a time because they have that technology. No, we do limited drops with reputable companies like the Critical Slide Society. So you can head on over. I think it's just tcss.com maybe is the website. And yeah, you search around for the Beach Grit collab.
I like it. I hate surfing with a cool logo.
Yep.
Looks good.
Yeah, thanks.
You know what one of my favorite shirts of all time was from the surf merch space?
What?
Our beloved Luke Cederman's that said, I love big wave surfing. Wait, was that what it was?
Yeah, it's I heart big
Right,
wave
I heart.
surfing. And then in the heart was what?
I am very afraid of big
Yeah.
wave surfing. Like the heart made up the words very afraid of, I think is
Yep.
what it was. So it looked like I heart big wave surfing, but it was really I'm very afraid of big wave surfing.
Very funny. That Luke Cederman does no wrong.
Hilarious. Man, it's really better. The joke lands a lot harder if I state it correctly rather than
Yeah.
stumbling through the
I don't know.
punchline.
I think it still hit pretty well.
Okay, good. Well, it's Luke Cederman deserves all the credit for that one.
Sure does.
How was Thanksgiving?
It was great. The reporting back on the Bo Sam, perfect to
Dang it.
perfection. So like just crumbled right away. Just barely held up. I tried to plate it and it just fell apart like all perfectly on the plate. But yeah, so it was 6 hours, 300, every hour based. And then I think it was, I can't remember. At the end, it's at 500 for some time.
For the crust.
Yeah.
It's like 15 minutes just to harden the
Yeah.
crust.
Yeah.
But do you know what size? How many pounds?
There was two of them. And I'm
Interesting.
going to say they were each like this big.
And they were bone in.
They were bone. I don't think they were bone in.
Oh man, now I'm even more confused.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
just butter,
Okay.
butter meat.
I think
How
I've
was
been doing
yours?
it. Mine was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Did,
the Bo Sam I need to work on. I'm going to go up to 300. I think I've always cooked it lower and slower, thinking I needed to continually go down that rabbit hole, but I think it's go the opposite way. Go up to
yeah.
300. I smoked a turkey and a spatchcocked turkey, and it was freaking. It was the last 2 years have been good. Last year was fantastic. This year trumped last year, and I think we've got it down to a science.
Do you use celery salt?
I do not use celery salt anywhere in those recipes for the Thanksgiving recipes, but I do have it, and I've used it in recently. It was macaroni salad.
Celery salt is
It
one
was
of those
so
things, and I'm
good.
like, how do you make salt out of celery? And it's like unappealing on the surface, but anytime I have celery salt, I'm like, why am I using celery salt all the time? Look at this stuff.
Totally. Yeah, it's funny you mention that because I did buy it specifically for a recipe this summer, and it was macaroni salad, and I loved it. And I was
Yeah,
thinking I got to incorporate this.
yeah.
But no, all went well. Did you are you guys already decorating for Christmas now?
No, but I think the pressure will be on to
Yeah.
from the child to decorate for Christmas. She gets real mad. I think I've shared before. Like nothing in this world would make her happier than if we decorated the house for Halloween. And for some reason, like I'm all in on, anything she wants to do, basically. I'll go to the ends of the earth to give her what she wants. For some reason, decorating the house in general, I'll do it for Christmas a little bit. I'll like throw lights up and say that's good. And then also I like a Christmas tree. And I
Yeah,
like
me
a
too.
I like a Christmassy house, right? Like we don't have a
Yeah.
ton of decorations, but Halloween house, I'm like, nope, I ain't gonna buy the big stuff. I ain't gonna buy the scary stuff. I ain't gonna buy none of that. And just I know, and I think I've said it before on the show, that for about $300, I could make her the happiest person on earth. And I just stand there, arms folded, shaking my head. Nope, not this time.
See, Halloween is tougher for me. Christmas is easy.
Yeah,
Christmas,
Christmas
it's
is
like I want to bask in the joy of it for a
yes.
full month. So
Yes.
right now, the Grinch is playing in the other room. Austin and Lauren are decorating. They already switched out the Thanksgiving inflatables off the yard. The Christmas inflatables went up today, and
Perfect.
I'm kind of all for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's nothing because this season, I mean, the holiday season is great because it's cheer. I love driving down a neighborhood and seeing the Christmas lights. Like every part of the Christmas decorating thing, I feel is an enhancement. And I guess theoretically understand the people who are grinchy about it, who like don't like it, but not even that really. Like I get if you had like trauma on Christmas or something, right?
Yeah.
And so then the all of it brings back that trauma. So those people get a pass. But if you didn't have trauma, holiday trauma, if I'm not even going to go into what kind of trauma might have been had, but if you didn't have holiday trauma, then what's anyone's problem with just a little more twinkle in their life?
If not now, when?
Yeah.
This is the
If
time of year to do it.
if not who, how? What is the other one of that? If not now, when? If if not me, who?
If not, I have no idea.
I feel there's a second part to that one. But in any
And
case, yeah. If not now, when?
final thoughts as it relates to the holiday, getting into the holiday spirit. How hard is it to go to work today?
Not at all.
Okay,
Uh,
good.
yeah, I enjoy. I mean, that's the great thing about never stopping working is that you don't have to dread going back to work because you never stopped. It just keeps on flowing.
So I did stop. I took, I'd say 72 hours kind of almost off entirely, and it was freaking hard to shift back into gear. Like
Bet you wished you didn't.
I really
Looking,
shouldn't have. We had the in-laws with us for a few days, and it was kind of like I don't want to be the curmudgeon who just they go out and do something, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I got to work, and I
yeah,
always miss the thing, and then we get together for dinner, and they're telling me about what they all did together. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and shut off work and try to enjoy the time with them, and I did. But yeah, yesterday you and I were supposed to record on Black Friday in theory because we record on Fridays. Texted you and I was like,
can't do it.
can't even
Yeah,
shift into the gear of like trying to prepare for a show. But we do owe the listeners, and so the in-laws are leaving, and so let's go ahead and get back on the saddle and do it again. And I got in the groove this morning. I got back into the work groove and I feel fine now, but it was
hard
tough.
shift.
It was
It's
a
a
hard
hard
shift.
shift. Do you like your in-laws enough to want to go out with them? I mean, everybody, of course, in-laws, great, da 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 da. But also, do you also like to have the excuse of, "Yay, sorry, everybody, would love to, but got an important surf podcast to go record."
I like them more and more the more time I spend with them. I never disliked them. It
Yeah,
was always fine, but I truly I think appreciate them and understand them better the more time I get to spend with them.
it's funny. A funny thing, I suppose, like falling in love with your in-laws, like falling in love with another family that's not yours. Because I mean, it is what does happen, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel you don't, I mean, maybe not everyone, at least for me, like you meet the spouse and you're obviously in love with them enough to marry them at some point, right?
Yeah.
And then the in-laws come along, But then I feel it is, and some in-laws are terrible and you hate them and that's all fine and good. That's probably easier to be, if you're in the situation where you hate your in-laws, you're probably in a better spot of just
Maybe.
like, yeah, of just real clear boundaries of nope, hate those people. But yeah, like I liked my wife's family, right? And then I liked them more. And now many of them I love. And I'm like, wow, I fell in love with an older, yeah, an old lady. Fell in love with somebody else's grandma.
It is a wonderful thing. Look, we're very fortunate to be in this
Yeah.
position to feel this way because I know it's not the norm. But
But
I
having that,
totally
having that like solid rock of hatred in your heart for something is always nice, right?
the worst combo is if your spouse loves them and you hate them
Yeah,
because you're
that's
then
tough.
she's pulling to spend time with them constantly and you're like, they're so annoying,
Yeah, that's
you know?
tough.
So yeah, it's a funny dynamic, but I'm here for it.
I
Totally
would like
enjoy the company.
I would like some good in-law stories from listeners. Like, I feel we could incorporate a solid in-law segment to the show.
We really could because it's joy for everybody to cringe when you hear the
Exactly.
story of the in-law. You can
Exactly.
relate to it in some way. I will say a tiny bit. I'm always apprehensive to reveal too much about personal
Yep.
family details and really shade somebody on the podcast
Yep.
who doesn't deserve it and definitely didn't see it coming. Um, Lauren's parents got divorced when she was pretty young, so she has, mom's side and dad's side. And one side is, let's just say, more eccentric than the other.
Yeah.
And so,
It's a little bit like the Fockers. Do you have a
no, I would not compare it to that. No. When I say eccentric, I mean kooky is
okay.
is really
Okay.
kind of a better description. A little wacky, a little
Yeah.
zany, a
Okay.
little bit more chaos than the other side. And it
Will the
makes it
side
fun.
will the side know? Like you're not
Yes.
revealing, but the side that is zany and kooky will know that's the one you're talking about.
If they heard this, they would definitely know because the other side is buttoned up conservative.
Okay.
So you would never, and I don't mean that as a political statement, I just
Yeah.
mean conservative. Um, but yeah, so either side would know if they ever
Yeah.
heard this, which they won't probably. Anyways, it's fun. The zaniness, I think in Lauren's, let's say, teens and 20s, it might have been chaotic for her and she had to learn how to navigate it and maybe created some problems. But at this point, we're pretty removed from it and we can just enjoy the zaniness, And I will say, I don't see that it's created any permanent trauma for her. It's not like she's still working out issues about,
Yeah.
whatever. So Lauren's cool with it, and she even can see the humor in it. We just laugh about it, but it's always every phone call is some crazy turn of events that you never would have anticipated. And then we actually spent a week with them a while back, and it was wild. It was just like the way they kind of navigate problems. Something pops up, and they just make the craziest decision ever, trying to deal with it. And but it's just fun.
I love it. I mean, variety is the spice of life, of course. I like that we're just going to keep throwing platitudes, well-trod platitudes out on this program. But like you're not a zany guy and are not going to be a zany guy, but to get to experience zaniness as a sort of passenger is great.
It totally is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, good. Shifting into work mode. Here we go.
Big
Uh,
stories out there, David Lee Scales.
we got a couple of surf news stories, and then we also have some listener queries that we need to address.
Great.
But look, Benedict Cumberbatch reveals gruesome toll of learning to surf as an adult. End quote.
Ouch.
Directly from beachgrit.com. Tell me
Ouch.
more.
Man, the shoulder. I feel Benedict here. He said he was on the Smartless podcast, hosted by Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes. And the Smartless podcast is so friggin' annoying. I do not understand how that thing got really popular. Do you ever listen?
No, we've had this conversation on air
Okay,
of that
good.
exact thing.
Okay, so
And no, I
we
don't ever
can
listen, but I get forced to listen occasionally, and I feel the same way.
we can leave that aside then. Annoying. But so I didn't listen to the podcast. I read what Benedict Cumberbatch said, and Benedict Cumberbatch said started surfing at 40. And now this seemed, I've never heard this before, to be quite frank. He said he was surfing bad conditions and too much, maybe, or something.
Hmm.
And so hurt his shoulder, like, which bad conditions. I was trying to think, like, really choppy water where you're like, whoa, like, I was trying to figure that out. But maybe he likely had a shoulder injury going into this, right? But just had surgery to get it fixed. But then went on to wax beautifully eloquent about surfing, talked about some place in New Zealand where the drug dealers surf with the cops, and yeah, a very, yeah, very poetic description. And I would have made more fun of Benedict Cumberbatch, but Benedict Cumberbatch was one of the greater uh, star meetings I've ever had. Very polite.
What was the encounter?
It was a Oscar after party in must have been 2014 uh, at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And Yuri Patlochikov, wife's client, had just won Olympic gold. And as happens with Olympic gold winners, they get trotted out to or invited to all the hoity-toity parties. So Yuri was there, wife was there, and I think I somehow snuck in, or I think wife snuck me in. So I think Yuri like passed his badge to me, or somehow I got into, even though I was not on the invite list. So me, Yuri, and wife were sitting there talking, and Benedict Cumberbatch came up so politely, just gentlemanly, and excused himself. You know, I'm so sorry to Cersei and I. I'm so sorry to break up your conversation. I just had to come say, Yuri, you were incredible. That run, that's when Yuri beat Shaun White for gold. And, you know, Benedict was both knowledgeable, kind, interested, zero ego, any zero like look at me, right? He was like, I am a nobody here. I am in the presence of greatness. And then said something like, me and some friends are probably going to go out tonight after this, would love for you to join if da da da. And then politely excused himself. And uh, so I think 2014. It was right before Imitation Game, but it was Benedict
Okay.
was still like up and coming star, right?
Sure, he was in Sherlock. I think he had some like BBC stuff that was
Yeah,
huge. Yeah.
he was still like, and so wife and I look at each other and like, wow, you've fully got a good like this guy's awesome. He is like the next big actor kind of thing. And Yuri was so dismissive, like, nope. And I think he had his eyes on, I wish I could remember. It was like Tara Reid or something like that. It was a full-on has-been that he was like, I want to go talk to whoever that has-been is. And I was it. But Benedict Cumberbatch, memory forever. Like how it was just a masterclass in how to introduce yourself, how to, give a compliment, how to be gracious, and how to excuse yourself. All of it. I was just taking notes.
He's a very elegant man.
Yeah, was.
Is he do you know, is he married?
Yeah, married, I think, with two kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To somebody famous?
I don't know, to be frank.
I'll
I
look him up.
I was
I don't know
curious
anything
about
about
that
him.
too. But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting. I've appreciated anything I've ever seen him in. I think that he's very talented. But I know nothing about him and his personal life. He started surfing at 40. Do you know how old he is now? Has he been surfing
49
for, okay, so he's been surfing for about a decade.
decade, but really you can tell, and again, we love to make fun of the vulnerable adult learner, but you could tell that the surfing bug really bit old
Yeah.
Benedict, that he like loves to surf.
Well, you know the way we have the ultimate litmus test to identify whether these celebrity surfers are actually surfers or like, can we call them a surfer?
Yeah,
And do you remember what the test is?
I can't.
Do they know who Tom Curren
Oh yeah,
is?
it's true. It's true. Oh man, I need to get a line. I'm gonna hit Yuri back up and see if
It's a
he still
tough,
has Benedict's number.
it's a tough, I mean, if you were to text him, he's going to, of course, Google who
Luke,
Tom
yeah.
Curren is before. So you're going to have to catch him at another Hollywood party and just address it directly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Present the
figure this out.
question face to face.
I'm gonna have to
Uh,
figure this out.
yeah, because I want to know. Is he
Yeah.
just, I
Is
don't,
he like everybody else?
it's weird that he said, I was surfing poor conditions for a long time and I hurt my arm. That's a
Yeah.
weird thing. Like, that doesn't sound like an actual surfer would say that.
No, it doesn't. It didn't. And like talking about bad conditions, And why are you surfing bad conditions? And
Right.
what's going on with that?
Yeah, I need to know more.
Yeah.
Now, considering that Smartless has come up a number of times with surf stories, makes me feel like those three hosts surf or have a general interest in surfing.
No, I think it's the exact opposite is the feeling I get when I read the transcripts. Is it's so foreign to any of them that when it comes up,
Yeah.
then they're like, "Well, tell me more." They're like interested, like, "Where do you wear that? Like, what's it called? The wet pant thing? Do you wear wet pants?"
Right,
Like,
right, right. That's a good Will Arnett, by the way.
yeah, thanks. uh,
Um,
like, I feel that's what it is because anybody who would surf the conversation, it wouldn't be bad conditions, right? Like
right.
that wouldn't be a standalone. It'd be like, what do you mean you're surfing bad conditions? Where are you surfing? Or don't blow out your spot, but clearly you can blow it out if it's bad condition spot. Like,
Right.
yeah. So I don't know. The questions, the follow-up questions are from people who have so little understanding of surfing that it's like, whoa, surfing?
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's how it feels.
Well, I'm going to give you a deep cut film recommendation since Jason, what's his name? Jason
Jason Bateman.
Bateman is one of those hosts. One of my favorite films, I've laughed harder at this film than almost anything I can remember, is a 2013 film called Bad Words. Did you ever see this?
Oh, no, but yeah,
It's
what was the
so
concept
it's
again?
so good, dude. Like I can't recommend it enough.
Okay.
Filthy, but
Yeah.
really good. So Jason Bateman figures out a loophole in the spelling bee, like the national spelling bee competition, to where he can enter it as an adult and compete against all the children.
Yeah, I never saw it, but remember thinking preview was very funny.
The preview is good. It's the concept is very funny. He's doing it out of spite to get back at the person who runs the spelling bee competition. Um, but it is incredible.
Okay,
Like,
in
yeah, like filthy humor, but very, very, very funny.
Jason Bateman is one of those actors who can do the filthy humor and go like filthy, 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 but somehow is Teflon. Like nobody would ever think of Jason Bateman as a filthy person.
Yeah, after he's cursing out children,
Yeah,
he
but it's
gets a
just like
pass.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
him and Luke Cedarman.
yeah.
Um, well, moving on. You know what I had? I should have teed this up at the beginning of the show. I've got a gratitude list coming off of Thanksgiving of things in surfing. Look, we've been criticized for being too negative on this
Negative.
show. And here we go. I'm going to spin the opposite direction with a list of things that we should be grateful for in surfing in 2025.
I'm excited.
Okay. I want you to think of your own list too. You don't have to do it right now,
Yeah.
but maybe think through the course of the week. Maybe next week we can revisit. Maybe we
Okay.
do one a week for the next few weeks.
I mean, it's a season of gratitude. Let's just be honest.
That
It's not just
that
Thanksgiving. We should be grateful all the way till Christmas, and then we can stop.
that that's what I was thinking is I don't want to give you a homework assignment and then have you 5 minutes before we start recording our next show scramble down,
Yeah.
scratch out a bunch of ideas at the last moment. But what I would like to is plant the idea in your head to live in gratitude for the next month. And as things bubble to the surface that you're grateful for, go ahead and make note, bring them up on the show next week
Fantastic.
and the week after. So I think we can elect to not focus on the crowds in surfing, on the WSL's missteps, on annoying Instagram influencers trying to build an audience to become, a paid surfer. And let's focus on the things that are inherent in surfing that are, have developed us into the people that we are today. And number one on that list is cold water. I
Mm.
am grateful for cold water. I am not a super tough man like Wim Hof breathing, going to do ice plunges. I'm not going to buy the plunge. I'm not going to make it that disciplined of an effort in my life. But when I look back over the totality of 30 plus years of surfing, I can see the benefit of getting into the cold Pacific Ocean, 5 to 7 days a week for decades on end.
I think you are exactly right on that. It provides, and I'm with you on that. Like those people who are doing the Wim Hof freezing themselves, all good. But that's a different,
Totally.
and that's a different thing. But the making yourself a little bit uncomfortable as a like r doing it daily kind of like where you're not just only because I feel the inertia of life is just you just try to make yourself more and more and more comfortable, right? The getting
Yes.
in surfing, especially surfing a little bit chilly Pacific, when you dip your toesies in and your instinct is, I don't want to do this. This is uncomfortable, but you build some will, paddle out. Good one.
Yeah, I mean, look, wetsuits are so great now that it's not the same as obviously a cold plunge, but you still are confronting that fight or the flight instinct because you are exposed to the cold obviously in the extremities. So you're still encountering that, and I think that you're still even getting whatever the benefits are of it, I think you're still getting despite wearing a wetsuit.
In that to that end, though, I would like to encourage our beloved Southern California surfing brethren and sisters, uh, tone it down a bit. Like there is, unless you have skin cancer on your head, you don't need to be wearing a full hooded wetsuit right now, right? Like the water is so, I mean, I went swimming yesterday, trunking it, went for a surf today. It's like perfectly fine in a 3-2 out there. No booties. You don't need booties. It's not that cold. Like, toughen up a bit, people. Like, just experience that discomfort a little bit more. You're making it too easy on yourself.
I think the let's say people going to a gym, that discomfort's also good, right? They're
Yeah.
going in there to meet the ends are going to justify the means, but that discomfort and pushing through it, we all know is beneficial for us as human beings. But the cold water is different. I think that the version of it that we have in surfing comes with additional kind of therapeutic benefits that are different than going to the gym and
Yeah.
pushing through. And I think that it is kind of there is a spiritual element to it. I mean, I would say it's even different than doing a cold plunge in your backyard. There's a spiritual element of being out in Mother Nature, confronting that flight instinct and response, pushing through it, settling in, and operating in that environment, I think is just has, I couldn't define what the therapy or the benefits are, but I think that it is substantial. And I think that my life is better 30 years on having a regular exposure to it.
Do you think you would have the same gratitude for cold water if you lived in Rhode Island and you got to paddle out in 38-degree water?
I think even more so.
Yeah.
I
I
think I
mean,
think the Rhode Island, the version of me that's in Rhode Island right now, somebody who's 44 who started 30 years ago, uh, is probably a has more character development than I do. They're a
for
badder
sure.
ass than I am,
Better person, probably too.
Probably, yeah. Sorted out more things in their life.
Yep.
So fastest way, it is the fastest way to shift states. I also put in my note because you and I experienced this in Florida a couple of weeks ago. When you're up until midnight or 2 a.m. damaging your body, what's the fastest way to get out of that in the morning?
A surf.
Go straight into the ocean.
Yep.
The waves are tiny, so you and I really didn't surf, but we at least got in that ocean, went for a dip, walked back to the house. You're ready to go again.
Every day we were in that Florida, and that water was really, really perfect. It was just cold enough to feel cold, but where you could still stay out trunking it as long as you wanted.
Correct, but it was just cold enough to snap you out of the bad decisions you made the night before.
Exactly.
And kind of like, whatever blurry furriness you have, you like it all gets straightened out
The
immediately.
reset.
It is the reset. So, big gratitude for cold water. Gratitude list number two, Mom John.
Oh yeah.
What a time. We are lucky to be living in the time of the Florence flourishing. And Mom John is the reason for the Florence flourishing. These three kids, John, Nathan, Ivan, probably don't need to state their first names, but these three kids, she somehow raised incredibly talented surfers and skaters, right? I mean, one of them would have been remarkable, but she raised three of them. The humility that these guys display, because when you have that level of talent and that level of fan adoration, it's easy to
Easy to
just
go
let it go
bad.
to your head. How have these guys maintained the level of humility that they have?
And one other thing beyond all this, usually when there is we all know Mom John, right? We know her as Mom John. We know her name. John. Mom is her first name. John is her last name. Uh, but usually when there's a character like that, they're too much, right? They are the momager. They are the Kendall or whatever, the Kardashian, right? What's her name? Kris Kardashian.
Chris.
It's that, right? You're part of the thing. You want the spotlight too. I raise these. You never see her in doing anything like she's not getting in the way. She's not. I've never heard nothing bad from her from industry sources who deal with the Florence brothers. Like, oh man, yeah, they're great, but don't Mom John calls up and rags for 45 minutes about how we're not doing good enough for their kid. I mean, I see this regularly over shoulders. Parents becoming too involved. She's not too involved. She's involved just the right amount.
And she's also not trying to build her own celebrity
No,
status. You don't see her working sponsorship angles for herself, trying to build her Instagram, doing even interviews with surf media.
nope.
She's just quietly supporting the kids. And so developing the character traits that you see in those kids, the humility, that sort of the hard work ethic, all that stuff can only be contributed to parenting, or I'm sorry, attributed to parenting. And so I think obviously their father is absentee. I'm not spilling any gossip there.
Wrote a
That's
book.
a
Wrote a book
that
about it. You can go read
yeah,
it.
that's a known fact. So I think the other thing that I've noticed over the years is the community of the North Shore seems to have helped foster these children. So not that she was ever absentee, but it's just the mentality of the North Shore, is it's a village mentality. So I do acknowledge that and appreciate it. But again, lots of kids go wayward on the North Shore. Actually, there's a huge list of kids that have gone wayward on the North Shore. So you can attribute the mother role of being present and steadfast in their life to these kids' success. And I think it's incredible. And now these guys are family focused themselves. You know what I mean? It's like, it's clear that they're putting that, the way they were raised, front and center in their life as adults as well. So we are lucky to be living in the time
Of Mom John.
and the Florence flourishing.
Great.
Third, Matt Warshaw. Grateful
Mm,
for Matt Warshaw.
so grateful.
I think um, without him, obviously, all of the information of surfing's past is scattered across the internet, basically, and there's no definitive definition of who did what when. And so having somebody take the time to catalog and archive and just put it in a repository that we can all access in one location as kind of the canonical definition of things is unbelievably I'm unbelievably grateful for it. It's unbelievably important for surfing, and it's like such a tedious, thankless, low-paying task. It's remarkable.
You would think that Warshaw would tire of the work too. You would think that it would become, as you stated, tedious to just continue to make entries, right? To continue to bring, I don't know, like forgotten or less, well-known surf stories continuously to light. Matt Warshaw does not tire of the work, or maybe he tires, but he doesn't let it show. He grinds every day.
Well, the great thing about Matt is, and this is going to relate to my final gratitude note, is that he does tire of it, but that doesn't mean he's going to stop doing it. He's
Keeps
going to
going.
see it through to the bitter end because it is what he is all about.
Heck
Whether
yeah.
he's tired, annoyed, anything, he's following through.
And gets Matt Warshaw, like the fine red wines he enjoys, is just aging beautifully. Like getting the writing, all of it, like every bit of it, more depth. Not that his other stuff was of a lower quality, but it's getting richer and richer. Or maybe I'm enjoying it more and more.
Well, I'm grateful for him and these gifts that he has, these talents that he has, and the passion for it. Because, like I said, surfing, it's just it's spread too thin over such a vast space that it's like if you were just going to research, pick a random figure in surf history, where would you even go? You'd Google it, and then there'd be a little bit of information over here about it, and then a little over there, and people cobbled together a Wikipedia, but you're never sure which
No,
is whole truth. you know? And so just having somewhere that you can go that feels like this is definitive. And by the
Yeah.
way, he interviewed those people in the 90s when they were still alive, or maybe they are still alive. He's interviewed them 5 times. He dates them, he cites references. All of this kind of scholarly approach is something that I think is often missing in surfing and surf journalism.
I mean,
So,
it's missing in life, right? It's missing in all journalism. I mean, that's why it's the world, the news doesn't have an encyclopedia of surfing version. And just think how much better everyone would be if there was a pop culture Matt Warshaw, a political Matt Warshaw, but
yep,
surfing has a Matt Warshaw.
grateful
Wait,
for him.
1 second, 1 second. Can I take one quick
Go.
second here? Sorry.
Yep, no problem.
Oh man. Oh, hey, Nate just texted. He said they're leaving there now and are gonna probably be a quicker stop. So I might still be on pod, but they'll probably be here in like 30. So yeah, you can tell him yeah. That's okay. I'm sure they've eaten breakfast and whatnot. Okay. But sorry.
No, it's fine. Um, my final gratitude note is I don't know the best way to word it, but it's the quiet gift of discipline that surfing
Mm.
bestows upon all of its practitioners. When I look back again at the totality of time surfing, I think so much of my character is informed by getting flogged, having to persevere, having athletic stamina, maintaining focus through all the, the entire session, the humility that you have to embrace to make any progress at all, the battling of with other people for the scarce resource, like all of these things, I would not subject myself to the discipline required to earn these things through any other method. And so surfing, I think, has these nuggets of gifts that are hugely applicable in the rest of your daily life if you just go through this exercise of doing it, you know? And so doing it for an hour or two in the morning as a practice, you come out of it with these deep learnings and better understandings of yourself. And so let's call it the quiet gift of discipline, is what I'm grateful for.
The been dawn patrolling with the wife, and I've never been a dawn patroller, right? Like my schedule is such that I can wedge a surf in usually at like 10 a.m., right? A comfortable or a 2 p.m. or whatever. Like I have windows through the day that I can, pull back and go surf. Uh, Dawn patrolling, I find it generally more crowded than obviously any other time people fitting into before work or school. B, who wants to wake up, right? Like getting up in the morning stinks. And if you can avoid getting up earlier, better, et cetera, et cetera. It's colder, all of these things. But so first time did it, I was like, because the wife's gotten the like Dawn Patrol surf bug going. So I'm like, alarm rings at 5:45, just bummed. Second day, alarm rings at 5:45, bummed. Third day, 5:45. But then it starts to like I realize, wait, I feel better through the day from having started the day this way.
Yep,
I feel like less lazy kind of like
totally.
that waking up in the morning and getting going and all of this kind of yeah. And now like so Thanksgiving, right? Didn't wake up and go get it. And I missed it. I was like, where's my 5:45 dawn patrol? Yeah. So love that part of it.
100%. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I could give the examples. There's a million other examples of just going through the effort, you, what the efforts are that you have to go through, you know? But that's a great one of them. And I think that as surfers doing this, it certainly attracts a certain type of person who's even willing to do this, but I think that it actually breeds an even more specific type of person. And we have incredible examples in the surf world because of these, everybody collectively going through these character kind of defining things. You have examples of great figures like the Tom Currens of the world, the Wayne Lynches of the world, because I think like the flip side of what I've seen, or the transition that I've seen happening post COVID, is the lack of self awareness, of course, and the people, maybe even wave pools are going to expedite this, where you can just plug and play. You can just show up and learn the thing quickly without going through the years of hardship that I'm talking about. And you can post about it instantly. You post Steve Aoki posting photos of him almost getting barreled, and getting tons of acclaim for doing something that would have taken him 15 years to learn how to do if he weren't the status he has and doing it in wave pools.
Getting dropped off by Aramana von Bastolar.
Yeah, and what I realized when I was getting into surfing was the moment that you have self-awareness about any of this process, the growth portion almost stops at that point. So like you're learning, you're forcing yourself to go through it, and then maybe you get good enough to get accolade. So you put a jersey on. And the moment you're wearing that jersey, everything, it's all different. All the value systems are different. The moment you are setting up a camera or posing for a camera, it diminishes the growth kind of portion of it. And maybe you can get back to the growth portion of it later. But those are just external factors that I think really undermine that initial kind of learning thing that I'm talking about.
I mean, I think the biblical analogy of, the person who gives money in the temple and clangs a gong before they go versus the person who gives it quietly. With the person clanging the gong, they get their reward on earth. Person who gives it quietly, reward in heaven. Where I feel the same. If you're all about the public, look at me and look at this. That's what you get out of surfing, and that's
Totally.
fine. But that's what you get. I think what you get is a lot richer if you keep it internal.
Exactly. And that is the hidden gift within surfing that you either learn or you don't, and then you can engage with it as much as you want, or you can choose not to. But I think the great examples like Wayne Lynch or Tom Curren or Dane Reynolds were these incredible talents who got the benefit of all of that growth and stuff. And then they got the limelight and they realized, you know what I loved about this has ceased. Now that I'm playing in this space, it's ceased. And so, you know what? I'm going away. I'm going to
Yeah,
disappear from the limelight and I'm just going to shirk it and go do it on my own terms again because I got a taste of the limelight and I didn't like it.
one for me.
Wasn't
Wrecked
for me.
surfing. Yep.
And so I think those are examples of exactly what kind of they're great characters that we have to pull inspiration from and reference from. But I think this is also board builders experience this kind of in their own way too. Of They experience that as surfers, but then as board builders, like focusing on a craft, developing the craft. It's an artistic kind of element that they're exploring. And then the moment that there's marketing involved, and the moment that you then develop board models, and those board models need to stay stagnant, and there's expectations from the surfers of how that board model is going to operate, you're just playing in a different space now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like the progress and the artistic exploration has ceased to exist on those terms. Maybe you can have other time in the day that you focus on the exploration stuff, but yeah, I think there's lots of ripe, fertile growth grounds in this space.
I hope that people listening are so warmed by this gratitude portion that they head straight over to the Critical Slide Society and buy their I Hate Surfing merch. Yep, it's there for you. It's
It's
there.
yeah. Look, I don't know. I think that I hate surfing is done with a certain amount of just recognizing everything
How
that I
great
just stated.
surfing is.
Um, well, this is actually a perfect segue into the holiday gift guide. I got an email from JJ, longtime listener, who said, DLS, one thing I miss about the magazines is their holiday gift guides.
It's true.
We need one. Here's my submission. These trunks are the best I've ever had, top notch. And he sent me a screenshot of some Patagonia trunks. Let me see if I would love to tell you which ones they are, but I don't think I have that pulled up. Um, but yeah, I was thinking you and I, maybe we need to endeavor to come up with our own gift guide.
I completely agree. I loved that gift guide in the magazines as a kid, akin to, I suppose, the way I loved, flipping through the Sears catalog, looking at the toys, right? Like the daydreaming, even if you're not going
Hmm.
to get the thing, the daydreaming about that thing is satisfying. So yeah, I fully agree, JJ. Thank you. We'll get it going.
Yeah, I've got some ideas. They're not all going to be surf gifts, but we'll come back with them in the coming weeks. The trunks that he recommended our, oh my God, they went away again. Patagonia, one second. Okay, Patagonia Hydrolock board shorts
Okay.
2.0 is what he
Okay.
liked, which, um, not to take away from the Critical Slide Society's I Hate Surfing Beachgrit trunks, because I'm sure those are fantastic too. But
Great
I gotta
trunks.
say, board trunks or board shorts have come a long way from my
Sure
days.
have. I mean, long way in a variety of like you can pick your own adventure when it comes to board shorts. You can go super tech, you can go
Super
Kate,
stretch,
yeah, you can go old school, you can go multiple different lengths. Like there, I mean, shoot, yeah, there's a trunk for everyone out there these days. Where I feel 15 years ago, there was a surf trunk. There, it was like one material, one cut, one look.
totally agree. So yeah, we'll get going on the holiday gift guide. I will say right off the top of my head, I got a holiday gift last year around this time from a listener, and it was a magazine subscription to Cooks Illustrated,
Nice.
and this has paid dividends.
Do you
So
use the recipes from Cooks Illustrated?
I do. I fully enjoy, just like you're talking about thumbing through the Sears catalog when you were a kid and fantasizing. I get Cooks Illustrated and I thumb through and I fantasize, and then inevitably, out of every issue, I'll try three recipes probably.
Fantastic.
And um I keep them handy so I can always go back and reference because they also I don't know if you've ever seen this magazine. It's incredibly well done, but they give lots of tips and tutorials for just technique, whatever, canning technique, knife technique, like random stuff. But it's always like, oh my God, that's invaluable information.
A magazine subscription is such a great gift that I feel is completely underutilized. Like,
Yeah,
if you know someone in your life has a passion, and of course, surfing, Surface Journal, obviously. But besides that, like, right, if somebody enjoys woodworking, if somebody enjoys bird watching, whatever it is, there's a magazine for that person, right? There's still print magazines out there. And what a joy it is, even if you get it on Christmas Day and you think, oh, cool, magazine subscription. When that issue comes, you're like, wow, it brightens your day a little bit, brightens
well,
it throughout the year.
it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Hmm.
And that was my thought with this gift in particular is like every time it shows up, I think about the person who gifted it to me, and then I'll take photos of when I do replicate the dish, send photos to the guy who gave it to me. Because it's like, yeah, it was a good gift. Um, and the other thing is magazines, the ones that have survived and are still in print are the cream of the crop.
Yeah, they're
You
good
know,
magazines.
there used to be 38 cooking magazines, probably more. And there's three now that
Yeah.
exist, and they're the three best ones from that era. So, anyways, we'll come back at you with a holiday gift guide. We will go to work on it. Hey, I'm open to submissions too. If you want to send them to me, we might
Send in your
include them
faves.
next
Yeah,
week.
I'm gonna give this some solid thought this week of the things, the items that have really meant something to me over the years.
Sounds good. Okay, let's take a quick commercial break, and then we will be back with more information on the name Kai and Barrel or Not. All right, Chaz, welcome back to the show.
Did you get a lot of
I
Kai commentary?
had a little bit of Kai commentary.
I got one bit of Kai commentary from one Jonah Hill, his very self.
What
Jonah
was his
Hill,
Kai
he
commentary?
just said it was something about the Kai conversation was classic, which
Hmm.
made me think that Jonah Hill knows a couple Kais.
Well, this graph that I'm staring at would indicate that you would know a couple of Kais. I'll show it
Hit
to
me.
you. Yeah. So the one thing that feedback I did not get was people being
Mad.
disgusted by the name
Did
Kai or bothered by it.
did you get anyone who named their child Kai who was like, "Hey, back off, bro"?
No, I did not. Although I'm sure there were people listening who did name their children Kai. We just didn't
Wow,
hear from
this Kai spike is
them.
wild.
It's really crazy. So really, Kai entered the chart In the 70s, let's say, there were some in the 50s, some in the 60s, the
Let's say
70s.
100% of the 50s and 60s lived in on the Hawaiian Islands.
Well, I got more information about the origins, and that's where you might be more surprised. But I'll
Ooh.
get into that in a second. This chart shows a huge spike in 2010, where it just almost goes vertical at a 90-degree angle, um, all the way from 2010 to 2000, and let's call it 22, 23, and then a real precipitous drop off the last 2 or 3 years.
Oh, it's true.
So,
We reached peak high in 2022.
yep, right about 2022, I'd say.
Wow.
So you're going to start seeing fewer Kais. See, I thought Kai Lenny would make another blip on this chart, but doesn't look like it.
The problem is if peak Kai was 2022, that means we're going to see more Kais though, because those Kais are 2 year olds right
Yeah.
now, right? They're going to
Yep.
start entering this massive Kai explosion is going to start entering our lives, our daily lives. Like our Starbucks barista is going to be named Kai. No.
Yeah. That's a good point. So it'll have a long tail, basically.
Yeah.
So this came from another listener, emailed me and said, it looks like he just quoted something off the internet, but it basically says the name Kai is diverse origins across many cultures, including Hawaiian, sea, SEA, Japan, ocean, shell. Oh, I think maybe this is what the name means. So the name means sea in Hawaiian.
Okay.
It means ocean or shell in Japanese.
Hmm.
It's Scandinavian, keeper of the keys, and
Oh,
in Persian, king.
well, here we go then. So we don't have to be. So Kai is not just Hawaiian appropriation. So does this make you less angry at the name Kai?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
fine name then.
It's a universal name, in fact. It
Yeah.
has, so the name itself, it has roots in Welsh, Greek, and Frisian cultures, among others. Kai is a versatile, gender-neutral name that has become popular internationally due to its brevity and multicultural resonance.
Well, here we go. But also, though, I think that precipitous, insane spike. Uh, can a spike be precipitous, or can only a fall be precipitous?
Great question. Don't know the answer.
Yeah, don't know either. But with that crazy spike, though, anytime a name gets that popular, then it's problematic in and of itself, right? If you are naming your
That's true.
child based upon a trend, then there's an issue there, right? And I don't mean to harsh anybody with trendy kid names, but like when you're, especially with something like a Kai, right? So Kai, the great Kai spike of 2022, every kindergarten now is going to have two Kais in it, right? And I remember when I was a kid and there was Billy J and Billy S, right? And you had to say their last initial because they were two Billies in the class. But Billy, William, whatever, was just a name, right? Kai is not William. Kai is a different, it's clearly trying, the parents were trying to be unique, right?
Right.
When you're trying to be unique and there's Kai S and Kai J, something went wrong somewhere and went wrong badly.
I hear you. Well, more info on precipitous.
Tell me.
I think it cannot, I think it can only be applied to falling off, not
That's what
going
I
up,
thought.
because the definition is dangerously high or steep.
Yeah.
So
But I mean,
high,
that is a dangerous high and steep Kai spike right there.
but what's the danger of something high when you're coming up on it? You're going to run into it. You're going to
I
hit your
guess so. I
nose
guess
hard
you're
on
only
it.
going to fall. You're only falling.
The danger would come from falling off.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go no. I'm
Well,
going to go, you can't use it.
okay. Bummer.
Barrel or nah? Um, got a couple holiday ones here, actually. Saying a performative holiday prayer. Dot, dot, dot. My wife and I aren't religious, but we were raised in religious households. During holiday meals, when family comes over, I feel an expectation from our families, but also from some old childhood nostalgia coaxing me to say the prayer. I'll usually offer it up to an elder. I think it means offer the task up to an elder, but often the onus falls on me as the homeowner and the host. I'm more or less fine with giving a general blessing, usually centered around gratitude, which I do feel sincerely, but I'm starting to feel my phoniness about the religious aspect is transparent. So I'm inclined to either double down, do some chat GPTing in advance, and deliver the best prayer my family has ever heard, or just abandon this hoax altogether? What do you guys suggest?
Barrel on the prayer. I think that certain things, certain traditions, right? When we lose all tradition, even if you're not a believer, when you lose all tradition, what are you left with, right? You think, you know what? I mean, we're headed toward idiocracy already. I feel the saying a prayer, even again, if you are not a believer, it's still you're being thankful to some greater power, right? To some greater unknown, I suppose you could even say. Uh, and what's wrong with that, right? Like, what's wrong with for one moment stopping and saying, I personally am not the center of the universe. My family isn't the center of the universe. Humans aren't even the center of the universe, right? We don't know everything. We are not all little gods on earth running around. I mean, if you really believe that, then I guess you could say a prayer to yourself. But I think it's a great, even if it's just that one time, even if it's performative, there's something about it that's enriching. Barrel.
I'm going to go with you on this one. Also say barrel, even if it is performative, um, for a different reason. I agree with your reasons too, but also do it for your parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who cares? Like, you don't need to put your foot down and prove your
Atheism.
individual, yeah, your atheism or your individual and unique path that you carved out in life and force every, it's like if they expect it and it makes them feel good, makes everybody else feel good, go put on the performance of your life.
Yeah, I hear
I'm
you.
fine with
Like
it.
that, especially on a day like Thanksgiving or Christmas or whenever it may be. Those are not the time to flash your own, yeah, hey, this is me. I'm flying my flag above my head because this is what I believe in. That's not the time, nor the place.
Also, it's kind of like um it's okay if you are atheist or agnostic or whatever, um, to fake it for a split second that you're not. You know what I mean? Like, why you don't need to be a devout atheist or a devout agnostics and prove it to everybody else. Like, who cares? There's
If
no
you
team of atheists behind you that are going to shame you for it. Go ahead and fake it for a minute.
if you're an atheist too, that's the whole point, I suppose, of being an atheist, is there's nothing in the universe that is going, there's no greater
True.
power. So do what you
Exactly.
like, go pretend all day long. Where's the sin?
Um, on a side note, a tangent, when you talked about not being the center of the universe, somebody sent me an Instagram reel the other day that shows exactly where Earth fits into part of the universe, anyways.
Yeah.
And it's an AI rendering of a camera point of view moving. You are the camera's lens moving through galaxies of just so vast, and working its way and then finally into the Milky Way. And then you see the vast expanse of the Milky Way and the camera still traveling past just tons of different solar systems, like things just until there's this speck of dust on the horizon. And the speck of dust turns out that is the sun, and then you get
Yeah.
past that and you work your way all the way down to Earth eventually. And you're just like, it's really alarming to think in those terms.
Completely. I mean, that's that we are that tiny, that we are that completely insignificant.
It's really, really hard to wrap your brain around.
Yep, impossible even.
Yeah. And kind of alters your perspective on a lot of things if you can wrap your brain around it.
Yep.
Second one, natural deodorant. This person says, I've never had one that worked. I revisit the latest and the greatest every couple of years, but they don't prevent perspiration nor BO. The latest ones that I've used work for a few hours, but nothing performs nearly as well as the same Old Spice that my dad used and his dad before him. I don't want cancer in 30 years from leaching aluminum through my pits for decades, but I also don't want to stink and sweat by 2 p.m. every day. So barrel or nah, or please send recommendations.
You know me, David Lee Scales. You know my position here. I am a non-deodorant wearer. I go the French way of just some cologne. And am I offensive?
There's been times where it's noticeable,
Yeah. But
but not every day.
Well, but here's the thing too. Like So here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking here is when you're sitting next to somebody and you can really, really, really smell their deodorant, right? Their deodorant is super powerful and you
Yes,
know it's deodorant. Is that more equal or less offensive than smelling somebody's a little bit of funk?
I'm gonna say equal.
Yeah, equal, right? That's what I would say too. That's equal. You are smelling a person. Smelling a person is never, you know, I mean, unless it's a person you love, smelling a person is not ideal, right? I
Correct.
think but I feel you can hit smell, and everybody's different, but I feel you can hit smell neutrality if you let it go for a minute. If you do, don't do deodorant, do a cologne kind of thing. And I think again, everybody's different. I don't know, but I feel your body stops sweating so much because it's not fighting this thing that I just feel you hit a more natural native state, which to his point, though, I don't think natural deodorants are that. I think natural deodorants are a kind of no man's land where you're neither getting
Yeah.
what you want nor what you need.
Yeah, I think that is that's been my experience with natural deodorants because I too have tried a few over the years and not I haven't found one that I think is super effective. But I do think another thing you said is pretty true is that this may be a case when this person says they're using Old Spice daily
Yeah,
and then they try something else and that other thing doesn't work. This might be a case where your body gets used to what it's been conditioned, what you've conditioned it for. And just like I haven't washed my hair in 15 years. I don't mean to breeze past this, but I've talked about it a lot, so I'm not going to explain the whole thing. But the first 7 days were a nightmare, and then
yeah,
you hit equilibrium.
yep.
And day 8 is no different than year 15 now in terms of like the amount of oil, natural oil, and health that my hair has. So I think that could be the same. You would have to go no deodorant for an extended period of time to let your body recalibrate and then start applying either the natural or the cologne that Chaz is talking about and reset.
100%. I mean, anything, you can't just switch from something you've been doing forever to something different and have it work out. Like you need that. Yeah, you need 5 days.
Have you ever smelled me?
No.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I've hit neutrality.
I feel you do a really good job of neutrality.
Now, you started to say, and then you canned it, it's never a good thing to smell people.
Yeah.
And then I thought deeply about that for a split second. I'm like, you know what? The way that I do smell, or the times where it is favorable to smell somebody, is a pleasant, it could either be a perfume or a cologne or just the person's natural pheromones, but they have to be within a close proximity. It
Yeah.
has to be an intimate connection. So I get those whiffs from my wife
Sure.
because she's near me or we hug or something like that. But you don't want what your point, I think, was is you don't want to smell somebody, whether that's good or bad, if they're a stranger to you or just an acquaintance, because there should be 3 feet of distance between you and that person. And if they've applied enough of whatever it is to go beyond that 3 feet, that's a problem.
Completely.
You should
100%
only smell somebody in an
within that
intimate,
3 feet radius.
yeah,
And so the people you're getting within 3 feet of.
yeah. And you do, it's not, when I say intimate, it's not that this is your lovemaking partner. It could just be you go for an embrace to say hello or goodbye and you get that little hint of a
Sure.
whiff and you have an opinion about it. You're like, huh, that smells good.
Boom.
Yeah. So there you
The
go.
only problem, I mean, not the problem, like a crowded subway, for example, where people are all mashed together, but that's just is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Those are circumstances that are above and beyond, and you're going to smell people likely there, and it just is what it is. But
Right.
again, to the point, I think that a little bit of, for me personally, a little bit of natural smell versus a overpowering artificial smell, it's equal.
It is definitely equal.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you as somebody who doesn't use deodorant and is practiced in the way of the French. Is there a version of natural BO that is appealing? Like
I
in that subway scenario, there's obviously offensive ones, but is there one that you kind of lean into and you're like, oh man, that person, it's kind of ripe, but I'm not offended by it.
I think there can be. I think if somebody is like really healthy, like ain't over drinking, smoking, any of that kind of stuff. Also is not weird eating, like not a vegan or not a, is like has a nice balanced diet, is healthy, it works out and all that. I think there is a possibility of that, of where their natural smell is pleasant, is or is not unpleasant.
Or I think it's more you specifically are attracted to it. I think
Yes.
there's other people who smell it who think it smells gross, but for whatever way that you're wired,
Yeah.
their
It's
funk
pleasant.
smells good to you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird human thing, but it's probably why dogs sniff each other's butts,
But that's what but again though, I would suggest for our dear listener, just try cutting it off for a minute. It's going to be rough. Like, go somewhere. I mean, it really works well if you're going somewhere where you're going to sweat a lot, to be quite frank. Like, because a constant sweat, I think, just keeps flushing any smell. Like, and so you go to, hot Cabo or something like that, and you just don't wear deodorant. You're in the water all the time, you're out, but you just don't, and then you flush, and then give yourself a go with some new path.
Okay. The older we get, the more appealing this sounds to me. Like used to like yummy foods when I was a child, and now
Yep.
I like disgusting foods as an
Yep.
adult. This kind of falls right in line with that.
I hear you.
Yeah. Okay, final barrel or not. Hiring somebody to put up your Christmas lights. Considering that you guys are anti barefoot and you guys are sleeping in $1,500 sheets, I presume that you're a no barrel, especially with the old segment of adults falling down. Seems like ladders and roofs may be off limits for the Smith and Scales households. Truth is, though, each year my festiveness is directly limited by my lack of enthusiasm to add chores to the weekend. I'm considering hiring someone. I priced it out and it's about 10 bucks per foot for the pros to come and install. So barrel or nah, boys.
I'm saying barrel. I'm saying if you have the means, because again, A, it's a chore off your plate. B, there's no great, I mean, what? Who truly is a Griswold? Who truly, makes that their whole thing is putting up the lights, and then beating the neighbors with the lights. And I mean, if that's your kink, that's something else. This now you are a light installation hobbyist. That is something different than putting up Christmas lights. Putting up Christmas lights has no inherent, like, this is how I get in the holiday cheer. And look at my kids are going to look at me. I mean, I'm all down with learn how to change your oil. I mean, you can't anymore because all cars are weird and electric and blah, blah, blah. But back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Watching your dad change the oil made you feel something. And it was like, or changing a tire in a car, knowing how to do that. Right. But when I saw my dad putting up Christmas lights, and I wasn't like, look at that manly man. Right. It's kind of a delicate, dainty, awkward thing anyway. You're on the ladder holding these little strands of lights, putting, are they straight? So there's nothing inherently decent about putting up Christmas lights. If you can afford it, hire somebody to do it. You're giving them a job. You're taking something off your plate. Win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have to think twice about this. This feels like the ultimate luxury to me.
Yeah.
I mean, when I ran the quick math on his 10 bucks a foot seems outrageously expensive to
That
me.
seems really expensive. I was trying to think of, is he going to do like, I would do 10 feet of lights if it was 10 bucks a foot, which is not a
Um,
lot.
yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking how many feet of Christmas lights do you buy them by the foot? I know
Yeah.
we have a strand that's 100, and I think we use more than one of those. So now we're looking at two or $3,000
Yeah. I mean, if you
just to
like,
install.
if you've got that kind of extra cash sitting around, then congratulations.
Yeah, that feels like again the ultimate luxury to me.
Yeah.
Like flying private, having a private chef, and having somebody show up the day after Thanksgiving to
To
do
put your
this
Christmas
in
lights
one
up.
afternoon, and I just flip a switch, ballin'.
Absolutely. And I would totally disagree. This does not go for all Christmas tasks. If you're hiring somebody, say, to buy your Christmas tree, put it up in your house and decorate it, that is a no barrel, right? That this is
Well,
not like all Christmas tasks are equal. No, this particular Christmas task has nothing inherently Christmassy about it.
no, I that totally agree. There will be a time when farming out Christmas duties lessens my enjoyment of the holidays because I'm not suffering through the rituals. Back to the original surfing conversation, the suffering through the rituals deepens your joy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But the reality is, I have a long freaking list of things to do, Christmas related, that will keep me busy in the festiveness. I'm doing all the cooking. I'm doing a lot of the shopping. I'm doing a lot of the wrapping of the gifts. You know what I mean? I'm reading the books to the kid about Christmas. Once I start hiring the nanny or a nanny to then read the books and do the
Yeah.
wrapping, then we'll have a conversation.
Sure.
But the first thing on the list to go, exterior dangerous
Lights.
chores.
Done and done. Barrel.
Delegate that out.
Yep. Goodbye.
Can't afford to do it, so I'll be doing it
Yeah.
again this year. And yes, the ladder and the heights do present. Older I get, more and more problems.
Issue.
A little bit.
Yeah. I know.
I've had a little vertigo kick in a couple of times. Once you get really up high, it'll set in like a little panic for a second, and you have to kind of shake it off and just be like, ignore it completely, focus on the task.
I had none of that as a kid. Now, like
I know.
I'd scramble on any roof, like climb any tree. And now, like the thought of going up, I mean, I'm totally fine on elevator or, in covered by glass, whatever. But if I'm exposed high up, I'm like, oof, don't like it.
I don't like it either. It's a precipitous fall
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
And also, I'm just less flexible. So I'm like less agile, I think is
Yeah.
what it is. You know, so you're just like that thought gets in your head, your ankle creaks weird on the roof, and you're like, oh, that hurt. Wait, am I
I'm
going
done.
down? Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary times. We'll record this one from a hospital bed next week, potentially. But I'll see you on Monday, maybe on Noble Rot.
See you on Monday, Nobarot, and we'll bonus show it up on Monday too.
Sounds good. Listeners, enjoy the holiday weekend, and we'll see you next week.
It works.
Fantastic.